Hey, hey! Are you guys ready for the juice? So obviously you can tell by the title this video is going to be about modeling and why I said deuces. A lot of people thought that I had quit, I'd given up, whatever, to each their own. Everybody has had their different opinions on this. I'm sure people have questioned it a lot. I know because people have asked me. So I think it's definitely a long overdue video or just an explanation in general. And especially to those of you who have supported me throughout the entire journey, I definitely think I owe this to you. But it's going to be a very long video. I already know that. So I'm just putting it out there right now. If you want to skip a couple parts, cool, whatever, that's fine. I'd rather you watch the whole thing, but you know what? We can't all have our cake and eat it too. So if you're gonna do that though, you have to subscribe, or you have to like, or you have to comment. Don't try me, because I will find you. But okay, so we're just gonna jump right into the video because like I said, it's gonna be long and I'd rather not chit chat or whatever, but you heard the whole lingo. Do what you gotta do. So a little bit of background story though, really fast on modeling, how I got into it, things like that. I was 14 when I first started. My mom had found, sorry, I know I keep messing with my hair, but it's crazy right now. I just dried it after the shower. But my mom found an agency. She signed me with the agency after we had met when I was 14 years old, just because she had done modeling when she was younger and it just seemed like something I'd be passionate in and something I'd be good at. Granted, I was 14 years old, so I just started high school, and my whole life I'd been in sports. So I had kind of more of a drive for playing sports than I did for modeling. Don't get me wrong, I did a commercial, I did jobs here and there, and they were fun. I loved them. I definitely got some good experiences from modeling, and I would never take that away. Or, just regret doing any of it or all of it. But I was really more focused on sports. So come closer to graduating high school, it was, the time where a lot of people tend to know where they're going to take their next part of their life, the next chapter. So I had everything signed up to go to college. Everything. Picked out the school, paid my tuition fees or things like that. All I had left to do was just tour the college if I wanted to. And I remember going down to the college with my mom, and I was torn because I initially wanted to go to college for communication, broadcast communication. I wanted to be a news anchor. So I really could have been telling you guys all about coronavirus right now, but I'm not. So, but I went down to tour the school, and it was crazy. I had my roommate picked out, I had everything set. And when I got there on the tour, I knew this wasn't it. I was not meant to be here. When you get that gut feeling about something. Sorry, my nose is super runny. That was not what you wanted to hear, but when you just know something's not for you, you have this gut feeling that it's just you know what you have to do. So I talked to my mom after we toured the college, and she was like, it's not, this isn't you. It's not for you. It's not what you want. And I was like, wait, what? You could tell? She's my mother, of course she could tell. What? So we both agreed that it'd probably be best if I went to community college close to home. I lived at home, so I could, if I worked, it would pay for whatever bills I had minus rent, and then I could take that money and turn it into paying for photo shoots and things like that, whatever I could do to progress to get me into modeling, because I had come down to the realization that modeling was the only thing I genuinely saw myself doing and never getting tired of. But here's the catch. So I had thought modeling was something completely different than what it truly actually is, or at least what I came to find out of experience. So I decided that's the route I would take. At first I was a little bit nervous because I was community college, what are people gonna think about me? I can't go to real college. First of all, just a little side note for anybody who went to community college, who's considering going to community college, do it. Why do you have to go to some big university? Granted, if you know exactly what you want, you know what school you want to go to, you busted your butt to maybe get scholarships and things like that, go to university. By all means, everybody has their own decisions, opinions, whatever. But me personally, if you're indecisive, who cares about whatever everybody else thinks? Go to community college, save yourself money, and that way if you change your decision on what degree you want to get 17 times, it's not going to matter as much. I don't know, that's a whole other video, but point is, do what you want to do. Go with your gut feeling. So in that sense, I did. I went with my gut feeling and it told me to pursue modeling, because at the end of the day, if I didn't give it the shot that I could, mind you, most careers in modeling start off very young. Like you start off between 15 and 18 is when you get into it. Your peak is in your 20s. So this was my shot. And if I didn't do it now, I'd be living with the feeling of what if, you know? And I'm not that type of person. I don't like living with what ifs or regrets or things like that. I try my very, very best that even if I do, you know, have an experience that I wish I could take it back, I don't dwell on it, because at the end of the day, it's not going to change it. It happened. So move forward. Okay, so moving forward, I finally decided, you know, I'm not going to go to college. I'm going to stay home, go to community college. That way, like, I still have like a backup plan and give modeling like full throttle. Let's go. So I went to different agencies, and just basically, like, to summarize this experience, like things you don't really need to know the details to, I just got in the mix of really, really just a crappy industry. So to each their own. I know everybody has their own opinions. There could be a lot of models or females, males in general, that think the complete opposite of what I'm saying, but this is my story. So my story is valid and it counts. It's an ugly industry. It's so fake. Like, I can't tell you how many times I found something new wrong with me because it wasn't what the agencies wanted. It wasn't what the photographers thought was, oh my God, you're gonna be so easy to shoot type thing, you know? Growing up, like, I had insecurities just like every other female would, right? But like, I always thought my nose was big. I was like, oh my God, like, I have such an Italian schnoz, like, I'm not gonna be able to model. I need to get a nose job. Really? So that was one thing. And then I started, you know, like, growing into more of like an adult figure, like a womanly figure. So I started getting like a little bit more meat on my bones, and a lot of my weight usually goes towards like my stomach and my butt. So there was a photographer that told me once, like, I noticed you kind of put on a little bit of weight. Like, you know, that's nice and all for some people, but not for a model. How do you tell a 17, 18-year-old girl, starve yourself? So that sucked. So there was just a lot of experiences, that, and then there was like certain photographers that, there was one incident where I basically was scammed out of my photos. I had paid the photographer ahead of time because I'm an honest, loyal person, and I, you know, just think everybody else is too. Crazy, right? So I paid the photographer ahead of time, and he took the photos of me, but like throughout the entire photo shoot, I can't tell you how degrading he was. I can't tell you how much competition I felt from females I've never even seen before. It was just like the vibe that he was giving me was like, ugh, you're so amateur, like, I don't have time for this. I shoot beautiful models that know exactly what they're doing, and you're just wasting my time. Well, I'm not wasting your time because I paid you $300 for an hour-long shoot in swimwear. What else were you gonna do with your day, you know? So it just really sucked because I was young, so I was taking a lot of it to heart. And like, I remember specifically there was one like pose he was trying to get, and I wasn't getting it down, and he was just like, what are you doing? Like, you need to turn this way, you need to do this, you need to do that. And he was so aggressive with it. Like, he wasn't like, okay, so this is the idea that I'm trying to you know, I'm trying to create, blah, 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 and try to explain it and like work with me. He was just basically like, what are you doing? This is not meant for you type thing. So it really got into my head, and I am being honest, like, during that photo shoot, like, I actually wanted to burst out in tears. Like, I wanted to cry because I just felt so like out of place. Like, you don't belong here. Like, everyone swears you should model for what? You clearly don't know what you're doing. So like, it hit me where it hurt, you know? And whatever, that was one experience in and of itself. But then that same photographer, like, I had paid him before we even shot. So we did the shoot, I had gone home, and I drove all the way to Miami to get this photo shoot done. Drove all the way back home, and then it took him weeks, I mean almost months, to get me my photos. I think it was a good 3-4 months before I actually got my digitals. So I was about to say them again. Okay. So I the process of getting my photos was another thing that made me feel like you're just not important. So when I was asking him for my photos, he kept giving me the rundown, or like the runaround. He was like, oh, well, this thing for my computer crashed and I have to go get this fixed. And then I have photos that I have to edit first for this company that asked me to shoot this girl. Basically like, you're not important. So I'm gonna get to your photos when I feel like getting to your photos. Even though you already paid me, I win, you lose, boo-hoo. So it sucked because, mind you, I'm 18 years old at this point. I'm an adult, but I'm still young. I'm still naive. I still don't know how the world works. And I have been in this bubble that the world is a good place because I was raised, you know, to have manners, to be kind to other people, to have a big heart, to give people second chances, and like always try to find the good in others. So I expected that in return from the industry, from other people. So it really hurt when I felt like he was basically saying to me, you're not important, you're no one, you're literally some random girl who wanted photos. You think you're gonna make it big? Honey, you've got something coming for you. And your photos, I'll get to them when I get to them. So whatever, that was an experience. I had gone to different agencies. I mean, I literally went to Miami. I went to LA. I submitted to agencies in New York, internationally. And no, just kept, that's all I heard, no. And then it got to the point where I was just like, okay, well, all of you keep saying no, but you're not telling me why. So like, what is it? Is it me? It's like, what is it? So I personally would nitpick myself and try to find every reason as to why they didn't want me. First it was my nose, then it was my no boobs. And then it was like this, it was that, it was the other thing. It was everything that had to do with me when in the end, it had nothing to do with me. Nothing. So I had gone as far as planning a move to California, which I had gone out there twice. And once again, got the gut feeling. I was like, this place is not for me. It's full of fake people. Granted, LA has a lot of like aspiring young artists and models and you know, dancers, things like that. And that's awesome. I think it's great. But a lot of those people that you're going to meet are so fake, especially with their social media. They're gonna post all of these things that catches people's attention. And deep down inside, it is the complete opposite of who they are. And that's not my type of people. And I knew that the second that I went to LA, the first trip I had, the second trip I had, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Like, it is what it is. If this is my dream and I want it, I have to take the sacrifices. So I planned this entire move to LA, but before that, I was like, let me at least try to get with an agency, right? Took a whole trip out there, met with a bunch of different agencies, like did the whole shebang. No. So finally I was getting answers as to why they were saying no though. So one agency was like, well, we do have a lot of girls with your similar look, so maybe you can try this agency. And I was like, you can't ever have too many models, I wouldn't think. Like, what if Cindy, Jessica, Amy, Brandy, Melissa, all these people are busy and they can't do the job? Like, you know what I mean? There's enough room for everybody to win. Maybe that's just my book. But so whatever, I was like, hey, cool. Went to the next agency. The next agency was like, well, you're not really what we're looking for. So you're like all American. And that was like, you know, decades ago. Now we want girls with fake boobs and like BBLs. And we're not really saying this, but you can kind of catch the hint. Not real. Or they want like these exotic girls with, which, okay, exotic is like foreign country, big booty, whatever to us. Exotic to them was like that, or it was girls with, you know, bigger foreheads than the average person, or like very like different features, like facial features maybe, that just made them stand out a lot. And how do I say this without coming off like condescending or like mean? Features that you wouldn't typically think, wow, she's a model. Features that would be kind of like, you'd look past the girl, and if she were walking on the runway, like you'd actually pay attention to the outfit, or like, you know, the Moschino boots or something. You know what I mean? Like, are you getting what I'm like putting down? Cool. If not, whatever. So like, I was thinking of all these things, and I'm just like, whatever happened to like the all-American girl? Like, what's wrong with that? Is that not like, so I have to literally change everything about me to be enough? So I can't tell you how long like this battle was like back and forth of trying to be enough as a model for these agencies and agents and companies and all this that were fake as hell. For what? For their approval? Sis. Okay. So I ended up, fast forward to, like, it was just so much money I was spending on photo shoots. I spent as much as $900 on one photo shoot. Do you guys know what I could have done with $900? Put it in a savings account, put it into stocks, invested it in something. But in my like thought process then, I was investing in myself. I said, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to prove these people that I have what it takes. And for me, so my vision, or my, like, I guess idea of what the modeling industry was a industry that promoted beauty in all shapes, all sizes, all colors, all heights, this, that, the other thing. Like, an industry that generally promoted beauty and made women feel confident. Women empowerment. Wrong. So the whole time I'm thinking it's out to be this grand, great thing that's just so positive and so enlightening, and it's literally a joke. A joke. So I remember I had worked with one agency who told me, they showed me 2 different pictures of 2 different girls, right? One girl was beautiful, she was natural, you know, she had brown hair, but she had light eyes. She had, like, you know, maybe like my complexion. And, you know, she had a pretty smile. She was cute, and she was like 5'4", but you looked at her and you were like, wow, she's a pretty girl, you know? Then the agency showed me a photo of another girl that was, let's say, like, I don't know, blonde, brown hair, 5'11", stick thin, fake lips. And the agency asked me, she's like, or the agent at the agency asked me, she was like, who do you think booked the job for this and that? Or who do you think got signed by the big agency? And I was like, hands down, her. Like, the girl with the brown hair, the blue eyes, she's short, but she's beautiful, she's natural. And the agent laughed and she was like, oh no, 5'11" model got signed. And I was like, are you kidding? For what? Because she fits the criteria? So that was kind of like a shock for me, and it was kind of like, hello, red flag. But I was like, hello, 18, what red flag? So fast forward, it was just a lot of experiences with modeling in general that just one after the other should have been an eye-opener for me, but I was so stuck on, one, proving people wrong that said I couldn't do it, but more so proving people right that said I could. I, at one point in my modeling journey, career, whatever, was like, I'm gonna do this for the people who supported me from the very beginning, and they never gave up on me. Like, I wanted to give up on myself so many times, but no one gave up on me. And at that point, I felt like I owed it to them, you know, to make it somewhere. Forget the haters at that point. But it just, as it went on, like, it got more and more of a battle that I was in for the sake of other people winning. And when I was getting nothing out of it, nothing positive. Okay, hardly anything positive. Like, I met a lot of great people. So there's ups and there's downs in the story. Like, I met incredible people. I've worked with a lot of great people. I did like a Chevy commercial. I've worked for Disney. Like, I worked for Mac. Like, there was a lot of fun in it. And like, photo shoots, don't get me wrong, I love taking photos, but I like it so much more now when I'm with my girlfriends, you know, having brunch on a Sunday and we're just taking cute chick flicks, you know? Like, I can be myself, I can laugh. If my nose looks big, it is big. Like, if my hair, like, one piece is falling incorrectly, like, it's falling incorrectly, who cares? So like, I enjoy that so much more because you get to see the realness in the photo. Like, if I'm laughing and I have an ugly laughing face, like, it doesn't matter because you can see that I genuinely was joyful in that moment. Whereas a lot of my modeling photos were so staged. I was trying so hard to pose like this model, or to have my lips pucker like that model, or to make it look like I had boobs. Just, you don't have boobs. Like, let it go. But you got a nice butt though. So there's just like a lot that I went through with this journey that just, as time progressed, I lost sight of who I was. I lost sight of what I was really chasing after and what I thought the industry stood for. So come July of last year, this was like the deal breaker for me, right? So I had submitted to Sports Illustrated, their casting, and I don't know if I should like put this information out there or not, but truthfully, I don't really care. So submitted to the casting, whatever, they liked it or what, it got me so excited, right? I was like, oh my God, like they acknowledged me, like this is insane, like this isn't real, like I'm dreaming. I was like, I'm finally going to catch my break. Like I've been working so hard for 5 years. 5 years. I'm gonna catch my big break. Like I'm going to make all of these people so proud, and I'm gonna prove wrong every person that ever doubted me. Like, what grind you're feeling? Nope, wrong again. So whatever, I submit to this, the casting's held in Miami. Guess when? On my birthday, the day of my 23rd birthday, this casting is held, right? In Miami. So I literally, for 2 weeks, planned my birthday around this casting. I was like, hey guys, like I'm not gonna be able to celebrate my birthday on the day of, like to all my friends, family. I was like, I have a really big casting and this could be like the deal breaker for my modeling career. So I hope you guys support it, but like, we'll celebrate before, after, whatever. So I made the arrangements, right? Well, my best friend had already made plans because her birthday's 2 days before mine. And then one of our mutual friends, their birthday was like 4 days after mine. So she already made this huge plan to do this big celebration for us three the weekend of our birthday, which Friday was my birthday. So point of the story is everybody was doing their own thing. The day of my birthday, I was hitting this casting solo, but when I tell you, I had never felt this level of confidence in my life before. I don't know, like something just told me like, this is your shot. Like you are going to like, you're gonna knock down a wall today. And in that moment, I didn't know that it would be the realization that it was. I really genuinely thought it was going to be my big break. So I get ready, right? I do my makeup. When I say do my makeup, I literally put on foundation, threw on some mascara, and I think maybe put a little bit of lip color. I don't know how to do makeup. 23 years old and I still don't know how to do it, but I got friends who do. Diana, shout out. So whatever, I don't know how to do makeup, but at the end of the day, like I didn't care. I want to go as natural as possible. So you see me for who I am. I'm not going down there to show you how cute I look with purple eyeshadow and freaking glitter all over my face. No, like I'm coming down here to show you who I am and what I stand for and what I believe in and like the impact that I want to have on other females, on girls who were once in my position of feeling insecure and not knowing how to love themselves. Like that's what I took from modeling. That's what I wanted out of it more than anything. And it wasn't that at all. And I think that was the most disappointing part. So I got ready, I hit, you know, the casting, and granted, I'm not saying I didn't put an effort. Like I put a cute little bikini on from Opali, if you want to sponsor my video. And I have my Fashion Nova pants on, girls, if you want to sponsor my video. So like I put in the effort, but I did it in a way that still was able to allow my personality and who I really was to shine past them. So I get to Miami, you know, I meet a bunch of different people. I met some really cool girls. I met some of the covers on the magazine, like cover girls on the magazine. Shout out to Maggie, who I did not know was a fellow YouTuber at the time. I literally was just like, oh, this girl's dope. Like we're cool, she's cool, we vibe, we click, and we stuck together the whole day. Except for at the end of the casting, which I owe you an apology. So I'm sorry that I just kind of dipped, but I'm explaining why now. So casting was going great. I was surrounded by thousands of beautiful girls, beautiful, beautiful girls, from looks to personality to whatever. So the craziest part was I did not feel the slightest bit intimidated. I felt confident because I was like, I am in a room full of beautiful women with the same mentality, with the same drive, the same passion to literally lift every other female in this room. Say it with me, guys. Wrong. So I get through the casting part and or like the steps in the casting, right? The process. We get into the interview room where they're conducting the interviews with, you know, the people who write Sports Illustrated or created it, some of the previous cover models, you know, just people who work for Sports Illustrated in general. So like people who are interviewing us, right? We all get filled into this room by numbers, and there's a gentleman that's like numbering us off and like telling us which interviewer to go to. And it was random. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I guess you could say it was fair, but it didn't seem fair to me still. So we get numbered off, and I was like number 600 something. Mind you, 600 people, 599 people before me were interviewed. So these interviewers have had a long day. But if you can't withstand what you signed up for, don't sign up for it. My thing is this. Each girl that walks in that door, this is her first and her only chance at this. So you have to give her just as much attention and opportunity as you did for girl number 1 to girl number 511. Sorry, I got a little emotional. But so fast forward, they number us off, and you know, I get pointed to whoever's interviewing me. The woman's on her phone as I approach her, literally like this, face down, doesn't even look up. And I'm like, still super confident, but I'm like, you got this, you got this. So I like approach her and I'm like, hi, like, how are you? My name is Sabrina, it's nice to meet you. And just being myself. And she literally looks up from her phone and is like, hi, yeah, nice to meet you. You can take a seat. Preoccupied by sending her message to whoever, okay? So I sit down in the chair, and we had like this little packet of information that we had to fill out in the beginning of the day. And like they would review it as they sat down with us. So she sits down with me, she looks at my packet, she goes to one of the questions and she's like, so what do you do besides modeling? And I was like, well, you know, I'm currently enrolled in college, you know, I'm getting my AA. Once I'm finished, I plan on moving to Miami to pursue my bachelor's, but more so in hopes of pursuing a career in modeling. And as I am answering this question, it's not like I'm taking an hour to do it. Literally mid-sentence of what I just said, she's like, okay, cool, yeah, that's awesome, degree, you know, go to school, that's great, good luck. Well, thank you. And I was like, yeah, you know, you're welcome. And I'm like waiting, like I'm so excited, guys. When I tell you I felt like I was on cloud 9, like nothing could ruin this moment, that like, again, like this was my shot, this was my chance. Like everything after this was just going to be full of happiness, full of success, like all your hard work paid off. And in the matter of like 3 minutes, everything, like it felt like the ground beneath me shattered to pieces. So she's like, okay, well, thank you. And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, you know, waiting for the next question. And like, that's when it hit me and I realized like, that's it. Like she's done. She doesn't have any more questions. She looked at me, she's like, we thank you so much for coming out today. Have a great day. And I was like, wait, what? For a second, like I sat back and like, I looked around at all of the other girls in the room. And I was just like, is this real? Because one girl was sitting down with a past cover model and they were laughing and giggling and, you know, their personalities were showing. The girl behind me was talking to like the big dogs of the company. I'm not gonna name people, but they were like so infatuated with her, so into the conversation. And so like in my mind, as much as I've built myself up throughout this entire journey that I just have to be who I am, and this is finally a company that genuinely believes in that, you don't have to be fake to make it. I'm looking around at all these other girls, and for once in a really long time, I was like, so what is it? What is it that I still don't have? It's like making it to where I'm just not cut out for this. So like I'm looking at these girls and I'm comparing myself, and that's when I was just like, I'm so done with this. I literally stood up, and I have manners, okay? I push in my chair before I leave a restaurant or anywhere. And I just stood up, left the chair. I just looked at her and I just walked away. I don't even remember if I said thank you or not, but I don't care anymore. But like, I felt so bad because even the girls that I had stuck with the whole day and like this was our journey together, I just left them because in that moment I felt so low. I felt the lowest I've ever felt with this career, and it was hard. It was really, really hard. Like, I feel like I faced like the final no, you know what I mean? So like the thing that really bothered me, like I ended up driving all the way back home, 3-hour drive because it was in Miami, on my birthday, just in case you guys forgot, like the day of my birthday. Yeah, this is that day. So I drove all the way back home and I sat in my room the whole rest of the night just crying, literally bawling my eyes out by myself. I didn't want to be around anyone. And like all my friends were out celebrating, you know, my best friend's birthday and having a good time. And like they even tried to get me to come out still. They're like, Sabrina, come on, like don't miss out. Like, you know, it's just another bump in the road. But I don't think they like really deep down knew where I was at mentally and how much this like affected me. So, sorry. I purposely did not put on makeup because I knew this was gonna happen. Waterworks. So I like didn't even care to celebrate my birthday. I didn't care to celebrate me or even my best friend. And like I stayed in my room, whatever. I cried the whole night. That wasn't something new with modeling, by the way. I had done that plenty of times after castings when they basically made me feel like, once again, I just didn't have what it takes. So the next day I woke up and I was just like, it was so weird because I felt the biggest relief. I felt like for 5 years I had been chasing after something so false, so fake, so the opposite of what I thought I was chasing. And I had come to like a, not just a realization, but like I came to the realization that I was done with modeling, but I was so happy to hear those words or those thoughts pop into my head that I can't even really describe it. I just felt like it was finally like, here's all of these obstacles and poof, they're just gone, you know? And it just made me realize, like, for 5 years I chased after something that just continuously brought me down. That, again, it just wasn't at all what I thought it was or what I so naively believed it to be. So yeah, just from there I decided no more birthdays, crying the whole night in my room alone. No more taking photos and nitpicking every single thing about me. No more having people's words or opinions of me matter more than my opinion of myself. So yeah, that's what kind of made me let go of modeling. Once I realized that it wasn't all it was cut out to be. But on a positive note, I can take photos now and I don't care if my hair is a mess and I don't care if the lighting isn't perfect. That's a lie. Yes, I do. I still care about the quality of my photos, but my biggest worry is that in that photo you experience whatever it is that I'm experiencing. If it's taking in like this beautiful landscape of a foreign country that I've been so beyond grateful to step foot on, or if it's a photo of me with my girlfriends laughing in pajamas with face masks on but not looking cute at all, that's fine. Like, I can't think of a more perfect photo. It just feels good now to like capture the moments that are real to me instead of trying to capture this moment that is perfect to everybody else, you know? But
that's my story. So to those of you who supported me from the very beginning, thank you so much. And you will always, always, always have the most special place in my heart, because I'm not lying. There were times that you guys believed in me that I literally did not even believe in myself. Thank you to those who doubted me, because you only pushed me further to continue to fight for something I really believed in. And even though at the end of the day I realized that I was fighting for something that I believed in, but it wasn't what it was, what it really was, you still made me a stronger person. I think one of the most powerful things I got out of this experience too was learning the real definition of self-love, valuing myself for who I am and what I have to offer, which is a lot, people, a lot. And I think most importantly, I am, wait for it, the ultimate hype woman for any female out there, friend, stranger, sister, brother, who's a sister, you know, you get what I'm picking up, picking up what I'm putting down. And like, it just made me no longer look at other females as competition. It made me look at other females as like, we're in this together. You're beautiful, I'm beautiful. You're smart, I'm smart. You're funny, I might be a little bit funnier, but at the end of the day, like, I no longer see a photo of a female or a female person and think, oh my goodness, like, wow, like her butt's so much bigger than mine, or her eyebrows are so much nicer, or her hair is so much longer. No, I literally look at her and I'm like, sis, that beep, because my mom watches my videos. I myself have been able to express who I really am instead of trying to do just the same and take the most perfect photos for IG. Like, I take a photo for what it is. If you don't like my photo, it's okay. If you love my photo, if you're my biggest fan, that's awesome. Drop your IG so I could be your biggest fan too. I just realized that there's so much room for everyone to like succeed, for everyone to feel beautiful, for everyone to feel confident, to feel worthy, to feel like they're enough, to feel like, you know, they're just as cool as the girl flexing on a Mercedes as they are flexing on their Honda. I'm not just saying that because I have a Honda. Like, and I hope that if you guys get anything from this video, it's just more of like a glimpse of who I am, or, you know, how I've become the person that I am, and that hopefully it inspires you to be the best version of yourself that you can be, and to be nice to other people. So, and like this video, comment down below, show some love, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned, because as always, I'll be back with more. Stay hustling, stay humble, and stay spreading the love, people.